All right, this is going to be a walkthrough of the changes that we made from the previous current state of making a T-nut process. We made some changes that I'll talk about as we walk through, and we'll get to it. All right, so one of the first things we did was, if you can see, is that we moved from the current process. We have compacted everything for the most part into a generalized area. That way we can try to achieve a one-piece flow. So whereas in the other state, we were in another room, we were using a different saw, and we've changed it to this saw. It's an auto feeding saw, so we won't have to make the measurements. After each cut, we can put in a cut value and a quantity, and we'll cut and make the quantity that we need. Then we would move over to this saw, and it was also over there with the other, or not saw, but sander, grinder. It was also over there in the other section, and we brought it over here so that it's closer again to the complete process of what we're doing. So now it's right here. You can go from one station to another, and I will go over that next. One of the other changes that we also made is that we brought the cleaning station over to this area also. So now everything is over in one generalized area. You can see that, right there. There's not a lot of excess walking, lost time walking back and forth to multiple areas. It's right here. So over here we have the bluing station. We cut that down by pouring it into a container, and then we just dip it in there instead of having to try to use a brush or a bolt or something to get in there, completely cover it. We also, instead of having to go to solvent tank, we found out that we can use acetone, and acetone works well to clean off the oils before we blew it and then dip it. And then we have a process here where it stops and drops the completed pieces here. So next I will go through the whole process in a whole of what we would do versus before, where it was in multiple different areas, and now it's got a kind of a one stream flow, one piece flow to it with the changes that we made. So all in this area, we'll start off here. We'll put our piece of stock in, measured based off of the quantity that we need for the demand. And we'll start the machine and load and cut the first piece. All right, next we would come over here and we'll grind the first piece and get all the excess burrs off. Once that's done, we'll take that first piece and we'll load it into the machine here. And once we load it into the machine and it's runs for about 5 minutes, then we'll go back and grab the second piece that has already been cut, because this is an auto feed machine. We'll take that and we'll take it over here and grind it. Once that's done, we'll come back over. The first op is going to be done, finished, and we'll put in the second piece in the machine. At that time, we'll go back, because now it's got to finish process the second process op, and the first op is going at the same time. We'll come back and we'll come over here and grab the third piece and grind that on the grinder. Then we're going to come back to the machine over here. After that, remove the first product and add the third piece into the machine. So the one we just grind it, we're going to add the third piece in. So we're always already down to the third piece. So we take that first finished piece and we'll take that over here, and we're we'll put the third piece in, take out the first piece that's completed. And once we come out of the first piece, we'll take it over here, and we'll clean it with acetone here and spray it down and clean it off with some water. And then we would take it and put it in the bluing solution, dip it in there. That's all you need to do, is dip it out, set it off to the side and dry. While that's drying, we're going to go back and we're going to grab our fourth piece out of the bucket. We're going to grind that, and then once that's done, we'll set it and come back over to the machine and remove second completed product and add the fourth and final product to the machine. All right, so then we're going to take the second piece and we're going to go to complete that and go through the process of bluing and setting it aside again. So the same process that we went through before with the bluing and the acetone, we go through the same piece. And then we're gonna take that first piece and we're gonna dip it in the oil. And once we dip it in the oil, we're gonna take it out and we're gonna wipe the excess down. Sit that off to the side, and that one's complete and can go into complete bin. Next we need to do is remove the third piece product and run the third piece completed product and run the final process of the machine. All right, so once we do that, we'll come back over here and go through the process of bluing the third piece of the product, and then dip the second piece into the oil, wipe off excess, and put it in complete. So now we have two pieces. Next, we're gonna go and we're gonna come over here and go through the process of removing the final product, pull the final product out, go through the process of bluing the final fourth piece, set it aside to dry. Then we're gonna dip the third piece into the oil, wipe it off excess, and put it into the finished container. And then the final thing we're gonna do is take that final piece after it's dried from the bluing, take it, dip it in oil, wipe the excess off, and the fourth and final piece is completed. All this is done without moving a foot, basically around in a circle until the final complete product is complete. This helps cut away waste, time, and it makes the process more efficient. There's always more processes that we could do to fix, and that's going to be a this is a continuous process. Before we started this process, we did 3Sing, made sure the area was nice, neat, and clean. And once we're done, we'll do the same thing. And if we continue to do these things and make improvements, our process time will get better and better and better. There's always room for improvement. There's always continuous improvement. What we're looking for is that continuous flow that makes everything much more efficient and easier on the person doing the job and for the company.